Hey brother, welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever noticed how women rarely come out and say what they really feel, especially when it comes to desire? See, society has trained women to hide their attraction, to mask their horniness, to play it cool, even when their body is practically screaming the opposite. But here's the thing. If you know how to read the signs, if you understand female psychology through the calm, unshakable lens of Stoicism, you'll start noticing things most men are blind to. And once you can recognize these 10 hidden behaviors she shows when she's horny but won't admit it, you'll never again be confused about whether she actually wants you or not. Stay locked in, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand these signs, but you'll also learn how to respond like a Stoic man, calm, controlled, and magnetic. This isn't about manipulation. This is about awareness. Because when you understand women at this level, you hold the power to move with clarity and confidence instead of confusion and frustration. So, let's dive in. Sign number 1. She gets playfully annoyed. With you, let me paint a picture for you. You're sitting there, calm, maybe even a little detached. You're not trying too hard. You're not chasing. You're just being. And suddenly, she starts poking at you. Why are you always so quiet? You never text me first. Wow, you think you're too cool, huh? At first glance, you might think she's irritated, but slow down. This isn't anger. This is her way of pulling you in without admitting she wants you. See, when a woman is feeling that internal spark of desire, but she doesn't want to come out and say, "I want you," she'll create tension. And playful annoyance is one of her favorite weapons. Why? Because tension is sexual energy. Now here's where Stoicism comes into play. The average guy reacts instantly. He laughs too hard. He tries to explain himself. He chases validation by saying, "No, I do like you." But the Stoic man, he doesn't flinch. He remains calm. He smiles slightly, maybe raises an eyebrow, and lets her words hang in the air. That calm, non-reactive presence makes her feel even more attraction. Remember this. A woman who's horny but won't admit it will look for ways to test your frame. If you crumble, the attraction dies. If you stand firm, she feels it even deeper. Story example. I had a friend who used to panic whenever a girl said, "You're so full of yourself." He'd instantly apologize or try to tone himself down. But one day, he decided to flip the script. When a girl said that, he simply leaned back, smirked, and said, "And yet, here you are." Her face turned red. She laughed, hit him on the arm, and couldn't stop flirting the rest of the night. That's the difference. A man who doesn't react, but instead redirects, becomes irresistible when she's already in that unspoken state of desire. Stoic lesson, here. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When she playfully annoys you, remember this wisdom. Her words are outside events. Your calm reaction, your ability to stay centered, is your power. If you let her see that no teasing, no mock irritation can knock you off balance, she'll feel safe, turned on, and even more drawn to you. Sign number 2. She finds excuses to touch you. Now, let's be real. Attraction is not just about words, it's about body language. And when a woman is horny for you but doesn't want to admit it, her body will speak louder than her lips ever could. Picture this. You're sitting next to her, maybe at a coffee shop, maybe in a car, maybe just chilling with friends. Out of nowhere, she brushes her hand against yours. Accidentally. She playfully fixes your hair. She touches your shoulder when she laughs at your joke. These are not acts. Break physical barriers when they're feeling desire, but here's the catch. They'll mask it as innocent, because admitting horniness directly, too vulnerable, too risky. Now, the average guy messes this up in one of two ways. He ignores it completely, too blind to notice. He reacts too eagerly, turning into a puppy dog, leaning in, chasing harder. But the Stoic man, he notices. He receives the touch with calm confidence. He lets it happen, maybe even returns it in a subtle, composed way, but he doesn't chase. Example: I knew a guy who had a female co-worker that always found excuses to tap his arm when she laughed. At first he thought it was nothing. Later he realized she never touched anyone else that way. One day, instead of pulling back nervously or leaning in desperately, he simply held her touch a second longer, looked at her calmly, and smiled. Her whole face changed, eyes dilated, breathing faster. The attraction was undeniable. That's what happens when you see the signs, but remain centered. Stoic lesson. Here, Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When she touches you, don't overthink it, don't panic, and don't pounce. Just be present. By staying grounded, you allow the moment to grow naturally without pressure. That's what creates magnetic tension. Sign number 3. Her eye contact becomes intense. Eyes don't lie. They reveal what words are trying to hide. When a woman is horny for you but won't admit it, her eye contact tells the whole story. Here's what you'll notice. She holds your gaze a little longer than usual. Her pupils dilate when she looks at you. She looks at your lips, then back to your eyes. This is primal. Attraction isn't logical, it's biological. Her body is literally responding to your presence. Example: ever been at a party, across the room, and caught a girl staring at you more than once? And every time you look back, she quickly looks away, pretending she wasn't watching? That's not random. That's interest mixed with nervous desire. The Stoic approach here is key. Most guys, when they notice eye contact, get nervous. They either look away too quickly or they stare like a hungry wolf. Both kill the vibe. Instead, hold her gaze calmly, breathe, smile slightly, then look away like you're in control. That silent moment will create a wave of tension she won't forget. Stoic lesson. Here. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free," and eye contact takes bravery. It's about holding the moment without fear, without over-analyzing. When you master this, you communicate power, confidence and calm energy, all without saying a single word. Sign number 4. She playfully tests you with questions. Here's something you need to understand. A woman rarely just blurts out what she wants. Instead, she tests. Why? Because tests reveal character. She wants to know if you're really the man you appear to be, or if you'll fold the moment pressure is applied. When she's secretly horny for you but doesn't want to admit it, she'll throw subtle verbal tests your way. Do you talk to all girls like this? So, how many girls are you texting right now? Why don't you have a girlfriend? Bet you're a heartbreaker, huh? Now, here's the trap most guys fall into. They explain themselves. They get defensive. They try to prove they're innocent or not like other guys. But here's the truth. She doesn't actually care about your answer. She cares about your energy. If you stay calm, playful and unshaken, she feels more attracted. If you panic, over-explain or beg for approval, she feels turned off. Example story. One of my clients once told me a girl asked him, "So, are you a player?" He instantly replied, "No, no, not at all. I'm actually really shy. I don't talk to man." Girls. Guess what? The energy died. Later, I coached him to respond with calm humor. So next time, when another girl asked him the same thing, he smirked and said, "Wouldn't you like to know?" Boom! She blushed, laughed, and leaned in closer. See the difference? It's not about answering, it's about holding your frame. Stoic lesson. Here, Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Apply this here. When she tests you, don't over-explain. Don't justify yourself. Simply remain truthful, calm, and concise. The less you say, the more powerful you appear. Your composure in those small moments speaks louder than any long explanation. Sign number 5. She creates opportunities to be alone with you. Here's the truth most men miss. When a woman wants you, she'll create subtle opportunities to be in your presence. She won't say, "I want to be alone with you." Instead, she engineers the situation. She lingers after the group leaves. She asks you to help her with something small. She, coincidentally, walks the same direction as you. She suggests you two hang out, but frames it casually. This is her way of testing the waters without making herself vulnerable. Example, story. I knew a guy who worked in an office where one of his co-workers would always need help with her computer at the end of the day. Everyone else had gone home, but somehow she always had a reason to keep him around. At first, he thought it was random. Later, he realized she was creating space because desire doesn't flourish in crowds, it flourishes in privacy. Now, here's where Stoicism matters. Most guys, when given these opportunities, rush in with nervous energy, trying to make a move instantly. That kills the vibe. The Stoic man, he flows with it naturally. He enjoys the moment, he doesn't force anything, and he lets the attraction build slowly like a fire. Stoic lesson. Here, Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." The same goes for intimacy. Just because she creates alone time doesn't mean you leap like a despot, rape man. Instead, you remain grounded, patient, and calm. Let it evolve naturally. That patience is rare and extremely attractive. Sign number 6. She pulls back, but watches your reaction. Now here's one of the trickiest behaviors to read. A woman who is secretly horny for you will sometimes withdraw. She'll suddenly act colder, busier, or even ignore you for a while. And if you don't understand female psychology, you'll assume, "Damn, I guess she lost interest." But pause for a second, because that's not always true. Here's the reality. When desire builds, it scares her. Why? Because admitting horniness means vulnerability. It means putting herself in a position where you could reject her, or worse, see her as easy. So instead of saying, "I want you," she'll pull back to see if you'll chase. If you panic and chase, she feels less attraction. If you stay calm and carry on with your life, she feels an even deeper pull toward you. Example. Story. A student of mine once told me he was texting a girl and the conversation was fun, flirty, and alive. Suddenly she stopped replying for 2 days. He got anxious, sent multiple follow-ups, even a "did I do something wrong" text. Guess what? She pulled away harder. Later, I taught him the Stoic principle of non-reactivity. The next time a girl went quiet, he didn't chase. He focused on himself, stayed calm, and when she eventually reached out, he simply responded with warmth, but no desperation. The attraction skyrocketed. This is key. When she pulls back, it's often not rejection. It's a test of your strength. Stoic lesson. Here, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Her pulling back. That's an outside event. Your response is what matters. If you remain calm, focused, and unbothered, you prove your strength. Unusual energy, excitement, and laughter around you. And that's where sign number 7 comes in. Sign number 7. She laughs more easily around you. You've seen this before. Maybe you didn't realize it at the time. When a woman is secretly turned on, her energy has to come out somehow, and one of the most common outlets? Laughter. She laughs harder at your jokes than anyone else. She giggles at things that aren't even that funny. She uses laughter as an excuse to touch you, lean in, or make eye contact. This is her way of releasing nervous energy. Attraction creates tension, and laughter is the safest, most socially acceptable way for her to release it without admitting her true feelings. Example story. I once watched a friend tell the dullest story about his trip to the grocery store. Nothing special, but the girl next to him laughed like it was stand-up comedy. Why? Not because he was funny, but because she was already in that state of heightened attraction. Her body was looking for a release. Now, here's where most guys mess up. They start trying harder to be funny, thinking that's what caused her reaction. But the truth is, it wasn't about the joke. It was about the chemistry. The Stoic man understands this. He doesn't perform, he doesn't force jokes. He lets his natural presence be enough. Stoic lesson. Here. Seneca once said, "A wise man is content with himself." That applies here perfectly. When she laughs too much around you, don't overdo it, trying to be the clown. Be content with yourself. Stay centered. That grounded energy will only make her more drawn to you. Sign number 8. She remembers the little things about you. Here's something most men completely overlook. When a woman is secretly horny for you, she becomes hyper-aware of the details that most people ignore. She remembers that offhand comment you made about your favorite food. She brings up that small stone you told weeks ago. She notices changes in your appearance, your haircut, your cologne, even the way you trimmed your beard. Why? Because desire sharpens focus. When she's drawn to you, her brain literally tags your words and behaviors as important. Example, story. I had a client who once said, "It's weird, this girl remembered the name of my dog after I mentioned it only once, months ago." I asked him, "Does she do that with everyone else?" He thought for a moment and realized, no, she didn't. That's the clue. She's not cataloging random people's lives. She's tuned into you. Now here's the kicker. Most guys, when they realize she remembers details, rush in with validation. "Wow, you remembered that? That's so sweet." Nothing wrong with that, but the Stoic man does it differently. He acknowledges it with calm gratitude. "Yeah, I did mention that once. Nice memory." Not too impressed, not too shocked, just grounded. That balance makes her feel that she's investing in a man who doesn't crumble from small gestures. Stoic lesson. Here, Epictetus taught, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." When she remembers details about you, it's because she was listening. Your role is not to get overexcited, but to mirror that energy. Listen to her as well. Stay balanced. Sign number 9. She starts mirroring your behavior. This one is pure psychology. When a woman is attracted, when she's secretly turned on, her subconscious starts copying your actions. You take a sip of your drink. Seconds later, she does too. You lean back in your chair. Suddenly, she mirrors your posture. You cross your legs. Not long after, she crosses hers. This is called mirroring. It's an unconscious behavior humans use to build rapport and connection. But when it shows up in a romantic or sexual context, it's often a huge sign of hidden attraction. Example, a story. A buddy of mine once said, "It's weird, every time I scratched my neck at dinner, she did too." He thought it was random, but I told him, "No, man, that's her subconscious, syncing with you." And here's the Stoic twist. Most guys, once they notice, get too excited. They start testing it, moving on purpose just to see if she follows. That ruins the natural flow. The Stoic man simply observes. He sees the mirroring as confirmation, but stays calm, steady, and grounded. That composure intensifies her attraction even more. Stoic lesson here. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In other words, who you are internally radiates outward. When she mirrors you, it's because your calm, centered energy is pulling her into your frame. That's power without force. Sign number 10. She stalls or lingers around you. Think about this. If she wasn't interested, she'd leave, quickly, efficiently. But when she's secretly horny for you, she lingers. The conversation ends, but she finds one more question to ask. She's about to walk away, but she pauses, fiddles with her phone, looks back at you. She says she should leave, but doesn't actually move. This is her way of keeping the door open without explicitly saying, "I don't want this moment to end." Example. Story. One guy told me he walked a girl to her car after dinner. She sat inside, closed the door, but didn't drive off. She kept fiddling with her keys, talking through the window, asking random questions. At first he thought she was just indecisive. Later he realized she didn't want to leave. Her body was screaming, "Don't end this yet." The Stoic man recognizes this and doesn't rush. He stays calm, lets the moment breathe, and allows her to linger without pressure. That patience creates the perfect atmosphere for intimacy to unfold naturally. Stoic lesson. Here, Seneca once said, "Time discovers truth. When she lingers, don't force the truth out of her. Let time reveal it. Stay grounded, let her stall, and give her the space to choose to step closer." Conclusion. So now you've seen the 10 powerful signs a woman gives when she's secretly horny for you but won't admit it. And if you've been paying attention, you'll notice something important. It's not just about her, it's about you. Because here's the truth. A woman's attraction is like fire. It burns hotter when there's air, and that air is created when you remain calm, grounded, and in control of yourself. If you chase, you smother the fire. If you panic, you lose her respect. If you force, you kill the desire. But when you respond with patience, with confidence, and with composure, you give her the space to reveal her true feelings without fear. That's what makes a Stoic man irresistible. He's not controlled by her tests. He's not shaken by her silence. He's not desperate for her approval. Instead, he radiates strength from within. Stoic wrap-up. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." And that's the secret. Don't obsess over whether she's into you or not. Don't waste your life trying to decode every glance, every word, every pause. Instead, become the man who naturally attracts by mastering yourself. When you see the signs, recognize them. When she tests you, smile calmly. When she lingers, give her space. When she pulls back, remain strong. Because ultimately, attraction isn't about chasing her. It's about holding your frame. Final motivational close. Brother, remember this. A woman may hide her desire with words. She may cover it with laughter, disguise it with annoyance, or mask it with silence. But if you train your eyes to see, if you train your mind to stay calm, if you embody the wisdom of Stoicism in your daily life, you'll never again wonder if she wants you. You'll know. And the man who knows, calmly, confidently, silently, that man is unstoppable. So go out there, master yours, elf, and let attraction take care of itself. Because once you hold your frame, you don't chase women. They chase you.